Hello, everyone. I'm Uncle Ray, and this is my co-host, Susanna. Welcome to the Atomic Growth Team, where our mission is to help you become 1% better every day.
It's really great to be back with you all for another deep dive. And today we are getting into something that I think touches a nerve for just about everybody. It's about money, sure, but really it's about the massive gap between perception and reality. It's about the lies our eyes tell us every single day.
Oh, absolutely. And to kick this off, I want everyone listening to just pause for a second. Whether you're driving to work or maybe folding laundry or at the gym, just visualize this with me.
Yeah.
You are sitting at a coffee shop, you hear the grinder going, people chatting, you look out the window to your left and you see a guy.
Okay, set the scene for us.
We'll call him Person A. He is getting out of a brand new luxury car. Let's say it's a sleek, black Mercedes S-Class. The paint is flawless. He's wearing a tailored suit that fits perfectly, and he flashes a designer watch and maybe a Rolex that costs more than my first car. He's holding the latest smartphone, scrolling, maybe posting a selfie from a resort in the Maldives. He looks like he has absolutely made it. He looks like $1,000,000.
I can totally see him, the classic image of success. I mean, the person we're all sort of trained to envy just a little bit.
Exactly. Now, look to your right, there's another guy, Person B. He just pulled up in a 10-year-old Honda Civic. There's a dent in the bumper, maybe some peeling paint on the hood. He gets out wearing a faded T-shirt, some jeans from Costco, and beat-up sneakers. He lives in a modest house down the block, mows his own lawn.
And naturally, our brains are wired to make an immediate judgment, aren't they? It happens in a split second.
It does. We are conditioned by movies, by Instagram, by billboards to think the first guy is rich and the second guy is struggling. We look at the Honda guy and think, man, I hope he gets a braid soon. He looks like he's having a rough go.
Right.
But here is the twist, and this is what we are unpacking today. We are conditioned to think the first person is rich and the second is poor. But the math often proves the absolute opposite.
That is the paradox of modern wealth. The research we dove into shows that the guy in the Honda might actually have $2 million sitting quietly in index funds, just compounding away. He's financially free. He doesn't have a boss if he doesn't want one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the luxury car driver, he could be 3 months behind on rent, leveraged to his eyeballs, drowning in payments, and terrified of his credit card statement every single month.
It's a complete inversion of reality. The Honda driver is playing the game of wealth, and the Mercedes driver is playing the game of status. And unfortunately, playing the status game often means losing the wealth game. We equate spending with wealth, but they are actually opposites. Spending is money leaving your pocket. Wealth is money staying in your pocket.
Today, we aren't just talking about saving pennies or, skipping your morning latte. We are revealing the invisible rules of wealth. We're going to show you how to spot actual rich people, not the fake ones. We're going to explain why being boring is actually your superpower. And we have a specific 6-month blueprint to beat 95% of people financially.
I love that promise. Because I think we all feel that pressure, right, to look the part, to show that we're doing well.
Oh, absolutely. We live in a flex culture. If you aren't posting it, did it even happen? If you weren't showing off your success, are you actually successful? That pressure to look rich is actually the biggest trap keeping people broke. It keeps us on a hamster wheel of earning and spending, without ever building anything that lasts.
So let's unpack this. Let's start with part 1 of our deep dive, the psychology of stealth wealth, or as I like to call it, real versus fake rich. The sources we dove into had this core concept that wealth hides in plain sight.
Right. There is a fundamental difference between being rich and being wealthy in this context. The source material puts it perfectly. Real wealth creates options. Looking rich creates debt.
Options versus debt. That is the battle right there. Because debt is really just selling your future options to pay for today, isn't it?
That is a great way to put it. Debt is claiming your future time belongs to someone else. And when you look at the habits of the truly wealthy, the ones who stay wealthy, they follow what our sources call the 3 E's rule. They avoid talking about or displaying 3 specific things: earnings, expensive purchases, and excess.
The 3 E's. Let's break those down. Why avoid talking about earnings?
Think about the last time you were at a dinner party or a family gathering and someone started dropping hints about their salary, like, oh, the bonus structure this year was crazy, or I'm in the top tax bracket now. How did that make you feel?
Honestly, it usually feels like they're trying to sell me something. Or they're insecure, like they need me to know they're important so I'll respect them.
Exactly. People with real wealth don't need external validation. They have internal security. If you have $5 million in the bank, you don't need the cashier at the grocery store to be impressed by you. You don't need your neighbor to think you're a big shot. You know you're good. The insecurity drives the broadcasting.
It's the quiet confidence versus the loud insecurity. Okay, then there's expensive purchases.
Right. This is the concept of social return on investment. If someone stretches their budget to buy a $5,000 purse or a $10,000 watch, and they really couldn't afford it easily, they need people to notice it.
They have to get their money's worth in attention.
They need the compliment. They need the status bump to justify the financial pain they put themselves in.
So they post it on social media. They make sure the logo is facing out in photos.
Precisely. They are extracting social value because the financial value wasn't there for them. But, oh, wealthy person, if they buy a nice watch, they buy it because they appreciate the engineering or the history. They don't care if you notice. In fact, they might prefer you don't because they don't want to be a target.
And the third one, excess.
True luxury isn't having the biggest house on the block with 12 bedrooms for a family of 4. That's just a lot of rooms to clean and heat. Real luxury is freedom. It's the ability to quit a job you hate. It's the ability to take 6 months off to be with a sick family member without asking permission from anyone.
Wow, yeah.
That freedom is invisible. You can't take a picture of, I have enough money to not work for 2 years and put it on Instagram. It's boring content, but it's an incredible life.
You know, the best way to visualize this math, because we promised math and I want to deliver, is the car analogy. This part of the research really stuck with me because cars are such a massive status symbol in our culture. It's the first thing people see.
They are the ultimate status symbol for most people and the ultimate wealth destroyer.
So let's look at the numbers provided in the source. Imagine you have a guy who finances a brand new car. Let's say the payment is $700 a month. And honestly, looking at the data, $700 is actually becoming pretty standard, maybe even on the low side for luxury vehicles these days.
It's terrifyingly standard. People act like it's just another utility bill.
So $700 leaves his account every month. Now, consider the invisible millionaire in the Honda. He drives a paid-off car. Maybe he bought it when it was 3 years old. Let someone else take the hit. He takes that same $700 money that is available because he doesn't have a car payment, and he invests it.
And we aren't talking about gambling on the latest meme stock or crypto here. Just a standard, boring investment, say an 8% annual return.
Right, so investing $700 a month at 8% for 10 years, what does that turn into?
It turns into roughly $130,000.
$130,000. That is liquid cash. That is wealth. That is a tangible asset. Now, look at the guy with the new car. Over 10 years, he spent about $84,000 in payments. And what does he have to show for it?
A 10-year-old piece of metal.
Exactly. A 10-year-old piece of metal that is maybe worth $30,000 if he's lucky.
So let's look at the net worth gap between the two people based solely on their car decision. One has $130,000 cash plus a working car. The other has a $30,000 car and $84,000 of lost cash flow. The difference is around $100,000 in a single decade.
100 grand. That is a down payment on a house. That is a college fund for your kid. That is walkaway money just from driving a Honda instead of a Benz.
And the insight here isn't that wealthy people drive unreliable junk. That's a huge misconception. They buy quality. They just buy it after the depreciation has hit. A 5-year-old Lexus is still a great car, but it's lost 60% of its price. The wealthy person lets someone else pay that depreciation tax and then buys the reliability for half price.
It's avoiding the stupidity tax.
Yeah.
But it's hard. We have to acknowledge the social trap. It takes a lot of psychological strength to drive the older car when you technically could afford the new one.
It does. We have these archetypes from the research, Richard and poor Peter.
I feel like I've been poor Peter a few times in my life, if I'm being honest.
I think we all have. It's the default setting. Poor Peter gets a raise at work. What's the first thing he does? He looks at his car and says, I make more money now. I deserve an upgrade. He looks at his apartment and says, I can afford a better place. He inflates his lifestyle to match his income. He compares himself to people who make less than him, which makes him feel rich, so he spends like he's rich.
And Richard?
Richard gets the raise and does nothing. He freezes his lifestyle. He compares himself to people making 10 times more than him. He feels behind, so he stays humble. He keeps driving the Toyota. He banks the raise. 10 years later, Peter has nice stuff and debt. Richard has $1 million in freedom.
It's that idea of being socially invisible. If you broadcast success, you invite problems.
You really do. If people think you're rich, Suddenly, long-lost cousins have emergencies. Friends expect you to pick up the tab at dinner. You become a target for scams. Real wealth understands that anonymity is security. If you look like you're struggling or just doing okay, nobody asks you for money. You can build your empire in peace.
So that's the psychology. But we have to address the reality that for some people, it's not just about mindset. It's about the mechanics of being broke. It is incredibly expensive to be poor.
This is part 2 of our deep dive, the Boots Theory and the Cost of Being Broke. And this is one of the most important concepts to understand, whether you have money or not. It builds empathy, and it explains the trap perfectly.
It comes from a Terry Pratchett novel, strictly speaking, but economists have actually adopted it because it illustrates the point so flawlessly.
It's a brilliant analogy. The theory goes like this. A rich man, let's call him Richard again, can afford to buy a really good pair of work boots. They cost $50. They are leather, well-stitched, waterproof. Those boots last him 10 years. His feet stay dry.
Simple enough, high upfront cost, very low long-term cost.
But poor Peter, he doesn't have $50. He lives paycheck to paycheck. He literally cannot scrape together $50 at one time without skipping a meal or a bill. He only has $10, so he buys the cheap boots.
The cardboard-soled ones.
Exactly. And those cheap boots fall apart after one season. His feet get wet. So next year, he has to spend another $10. And the year after that, and the year after that.
So over 10 years.
Over 10 years, Peter has spent $100 on boots, double what Richard spent, and his feet are still wet the whole time.
That hits hard. It's the idea that having no capital forces you to buy inefficiently.
Exactly. It's called the poverty premium. And once you see it everywhere. It's not just boots, it's toilet paper.
Toilet paper. Walk us through that one.
It's the bulk buying principle. If you have $50 spare, you go to Costco or a wholesale club, you buy the mega pack. The cost per roll is like 50 cents. You are set for months.
Right.
But if you are broke, you don't have $50 of inventory money. You have $4 in your pocket. You go to the corner store and buy a 4-pack. The cost per roll is $1.50. You are paying 3 times more for the exact same product simply because you couldn't afford the entry fee of the bulk pack.
That is infuriating when you think about it. And it gets worse with banking, right?
The banking system is designed to punish people with no buffer. Think about overdraft fees. Let's say you have $20 in your account. You miscalculate or a subscription hits that you forgot about. You buy a coffee for $5, your account goes to negative $5.
And the bank says, that's okay, pay us back later.
No. They hit you with a $35 overdraft fee. So that $5 coffee just cost you $40. Effectively, the bank lent you $5 for 24 hours and charged you $35 in interest. That is an annual percentage rate of something like 7,000%. If a loan shark did that, they'd go to jail. When a bank does it, it's standard policy.
And the wealthy person.
They have a buffer. They have $5,000 in checking. They never trigger the fee. They get free checking. They get rewards points. The system pays them to have money and fines you for not having it.
This is why we want to validate how you, our listener, might be feeling.
Right.
If you feel like you're running in place, it's not always because you're making bad choices. It's because the system charges you a premium for having no buffer.
But there is a way out, and it ties back to the boots. The solution isn't to immediately try to become a millionaire. The solution is to stop the bleeding.
Right. The first step isn't investing in the stock market. It's building that small emergency fund, even just $1,000. That $1,000 is the buffer that allows you to buy the good boots. It stops the overdraft fees. It allows you to buy in bulk. It breaks the cycle of the poverty premium.
Once you have that buffer, you can start looking at how to actually build wealth. And for that, we need to look at how different cultures handle this.
Yes. Part 3, the crossover point and the Chinese savings rule. This was one of the most eye-opening stats in the whole stack of research.
It really is. So statistically, the average American household saves about 3% of their income.
Which is basically nothing. One emergency, one blown tire wipes that out completely.
The average Chinese household, they save about 36%.
That is a 12x difference. How are they doing that? Are they just earning way more?
No, it's often on similar or even lower incomes relative to purchasing power. The difference is the method. It's called zero-based budgeting or paying yourself first.
Explain how that works in practice versus how most people do it.
Most people follow the leftover method. They get paid, they pay their bills, they spend on whatever they want. Dinner, clothes, gadgets, and then if there's anything left at the end of the month, they try to save it. Usually, there is nothing left.
Guilty as charged in my younger years. The money just sort of evaporates.
The Chinese rule and the rule of all super savers flips it. You get paid. The first thing you do is move that 30 or 36% into savings. It's gone. You don't see it. Then you force your lifestyle to fit into what is remaining. It requires a surgical precision between needs and wants.
That distinction is tough. We all think we need that unlimited data plan or the newest phone.
But do you?
Oh.
Or do you just want it? The sources talk about this surgical precision distinguishing between a phone that works, which is a need, versus the $1,200 model with the titanium frame, which is a want. When you start cutting those wants, you accelerate towards what we call the crossover point.
This is my absolute favorite term in the whole deep dive. The crossover point. What exactly is it?
It is the aha moment, the exact date and time when your investment income, the money your money makes, exceeds your monthly expenses. That is the moment you are financially free.
And here's the cool math part, or the double-ended candle, as the source called it. Most people think, to get rich, I need to earn $1 million. But actually, cutting your expenses gets you there faster.
Right. Let's do the math. If you spend $4,000 a month, you need a portfolio of about $1.2 million to support that forever. But if you can cut your expenses by just $300 a month, that's maybe a few dinners out and a subscription. You don't just save $300, you lower the total amount you need to retire.
By how much?
By nearly $100,000, because you don't need to generate income to cover that $300 anymore. You are attacking the problem from both ends, saving more and needing less. It creates a massive acceleration.
That is incredible leverage. Cutting $300 a month lowers your freedom number by 100,000. That's motivation right there.
And it leads to this idea of coast fire.
Coast fire, I love the sound of that.
Coast fire is that beautiful psychological milestone where you have saved enough, let's say by age 30 or 35, that even if you never put another penny into savings, compound interest will grow that pot to be a full retirement fund by age 65. You can literally coast. You just need to earn enough to cover your daily bills, but your retirement is already cooked.
That takes so much pressure off. But to get there, we have to avoid the traps. Boy, are there traps out there.
The world is an obstacle course designed to separate you from your money.
Let's move into part 4, money traps and the power of cash. We have a list here from our source, 15 things no longer worth the money. We won't do all 15, but let's hit the big ones, the silent killers.
The biggest one, and we touched on it, is brand new cars. You lose 20% of the value the second you drive off the lot. It is literally setting money on fire.
Then you have designer clothes. You are paying for a logo, not quality. A white t-shirt is a white t-shirt.
And the subscription creep. Cable TV, unused gym memberships. These are what we call vampire costs. They suck $10 or $20 or $100 out of your account every month, and you barely notice until you do the math over 10 years.
One that really stood out to me was bottled water.
Oh, the convenience tax.
The math says you might spend $180 a year on bottled water. Tap water is basically free. Over a lifetime, invested, that water habit is costing you thousands.
And let's not forget lottery tickets, the tax on hope. The odds are effectively zero, yet people pour billions into it.
Yeah.
If you took that $20 a week and invested it, you would actually become wealthy instead of just hoping to.
So how do we stop the impulse? Because I know when I see a shiny new gadget, I want it right now.
The rule from the source is the 30-day rule. If you want something that isn't a basic necessity, write it down. Put a date on it, wait 30 days.
And what happens?
95% of the time, the urge fades. You realize you didn't actually want the thing, you just wanted the dopamine hit of buying it. The urge passes, and you keep the money.
It's like a cooling off period for your wallet.
Mm.
Now let's flip the script. We've talked about what not to buy. Let's talk about something you should hoard cash.
This is a contrarian view, especially with inflation. People say cash is trash, but our expert source argues that cash is actually an offensive weapon.
Explain that. How is sitting on cash offensive?
Think about when the best opportunities happen. The housing market crashes. The stock market takes a dive. Businesses need to sell assets cheap. If all your money is locked up, you can't do anything. But if you have an opportunity fund, a pile of cash sitting there, you can swoop in and buy assets for pennies on the dollar.
So while everyone else is panicking, you're shopping.
Exactly. Cash allows you to buy the dip, but more importantly, it gives you walk-away power.
Oh, I really like the sound of that.
If you have 6 months of expenses in cash sitting in a bank account and your boss is toxic or asks you to do something unethical or simply won't give you a raise, you can say no. You can walk away. You aren't desperate. Desperation is expensive. Cash buys you freedom, not just things.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
It's not just money, it's autonomy. Okay, we've covered the psychology, the traps, the math. Now, you listening are probably thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I actually this? Where do I start?
We have the blueprint.
This is part 5, the 6-month system to change your life. This is a step-by-step from the source material. We are going to walk you through month by month.
Let's do it.
Month 1, face the numbers.
This is the scary one. You have to overcome the ostrich effect, burying your head in the sand. You need to calculate your burn rate. Not the budget you think you have, but what you actually spent in the last 3 months. Print out the bank statements. Highlight everything. It's going to hurt, but you cannot fix what you do not measure.
Okay, so we faced the horror.
Yeah.
Month 2, the 1-month buffer.
Now we stop the bleeding. The goal this month is to save 1 full month of expenses. If your burn rate is $3,000, you save $3,000. Sell things, work overtime, eat rice and beans, do whatever it takes. This buffer stops the panic loop. It stops the overdrafts. It gives you room to breathe.
Got it. Breathing room established. Month 3, kill toxic debt.
We are looking for anything with an interest rate over 8%. Credit cards are the usual suspects here, often 20 or 25%. This is a guaranteed return on your money. Paying off a 20% debt is mathematically the same as making a 20% investment. It is the best investment you can make. Attack it ruthlessly.
Debt is gone. Month 4, start investing.
Now we switch to offense. You need to get your money working for you. If your employer offers a match, like a 401k match, take it. That is free money. It's an instant 100% return. Open a Roth IRA. Buy broad index funds. Keep it boring.
Boring's good. Month 4, increase income.
You've optimized your spending. Now you need to widen the shovel. Negotiate a raise. Start a side hustle. But, and this is critical, keep it stealth.
Why stealth?
Because if you get a raise and immediately lease a new car, you've accomplished nothing. You need to increase the gap between your income and your expenses. Keep your lifestyle frozen where it is and bank the entire raise.
Smart. And finally, month 6, automate everything.
Remove willpower from the equation. We are human. We make bad choices when we are tired or emotional. Set up your bank to automatically transfer money to your savings and investments on payday. You never see the money, so you can't spend it. You force scarcity on yourself.
The invisible strategy. I love it. You are basically hiding money from yourself so your future self can find it later.
Exactly. And the most important part of this stealth strategy. Stay quiet. Do not tell your friends you have this savings. Do not tell your family. The moment people know you have money, the loans start, the expectations start. Protect your peace.
So what does this all mean? We've gone through a lot of math and psychology today, but there were a few insightful moments in the research that I think really sum this up.
One thing that stuck with me is the boredom insight. We are conditioned by movies to think getting rich is this high-stakes, adrenaline-filled event. Wall Street, yelling, big trades. But real wealth building, it's watching paint dry. It's putting $500 a month into an index fund for 20 years and doing nothing.
If your financial life is exciting, if you're day trading crypto or flipping houses with leverage, you are likely gambling, not investing. Boring is the new rich.
And the other big takeaway is the time reframe. Stop asking, can I afford this? Relying on your bank balance. Start asking, how much freedom does this cost me?
Give me an example of that.
That new car, it's not $600 a month. It is 2.5 years of delayed retirement. Is that leather seat worth sitting in a cubicle for an extra 2.5 years? When you frame it like that, the answer is almost always no.
Oof. That hurts, but it's the good kind of hurt.
So what we're really saying is that wealth isn't about the digits in the bank account. It's about the ratio of what you have to what you spend. You can be rich on $50K a year if you spend $30K. You can be broke on $500K a year if you spend $550K. It's entirely about the gap.
I love that. It puts the power back in our hands. You don't need to win the lottery. You just need to manage the gap. Okay, we always like to leave you, our listeners, with practical takeaways. If you want to be part of the Atomic Growth Team and get 1% better today, what should you do right now?
I have 3 steps. Step 1, tonight, calculate your burn rate. Look at the last 3 months. No shame, just data. Find the real number.
It's 2.
Implement the 24-hour 30-day rule. For small items, wait 24 hours. For big items, wait 30 days. Kill the impulse.
And step 3.
Audit your subscriptions. Pick one recurring cost you aren't using: Netflix, that gym you haven't visited since January, the premium app subscription, and cancel it today. Put that money into your buffer.
Simple, actionable steps. Getting started is the hardest part. The whole system, ads, social media, banks is designed to make you spend. It takes courage to opt out of the looking rich game.
It does, but when you opt out of looking rich, you opt into becoming rich. And that freedom, that is worth more than any luxury car.
If you want to be part of the 1% who actually builds freedom, take one action today. Even if it's just checking your bank statement.
Start small, stay consistent, remain boring.
This is Uncle Ray and Susanna from the Atomic Growth Team. Remember, we're here to help you get 1% better every day. See you in the next deep dive.